or did y'all see that? Oh my, I'm gonna leave that in there. I hope it didn't get in my hair. But anyways, oh my goodness. All right, so we are doing this. First off, hi everybody. I am back. It has been, I don't even know how long since I've made my first YouTube video. Hopefully the sun's okay. This is probably a little bit better. Yeah, it's been a long time. Also, obviously, I'm alive. Okay. Um, Completely different than what I was berated about in my DMs about some rumor that I was unalive. Um, and that's partly true. I feel like the girl that I was at the time is unalive, but this new girl that has been reborn is only just beginning. Before I even get into like sharing the content that I felt like, was and is meaningful according to what I've been doing, there's like so many things that have transpired since I've been on my hiatus from my online accounts. But I was like, I definitely know I'm going to be berated. I'm going to be hounded on about why I took down my locs. I already know. So I think I'm just going to really try to speak from my heart. I have a couple bullet points that I'll be reading here and there, but for the most part, I could really just tell y'all stories for days on why I decided to take down my locks. I felt like my hair at the time was limiting me. I felt like I was boxed in and was expected to perform within that box of a stereotype that people associated me with because of my hair at the time. And it was a very lonely place to be at because I knew that all that I was doing online wasn't fulfilling to me. I was tired of talking about my hair all the time. I was tired of that being my identity rather than simply being a extension of who I am as Angel. I really don't even care to be seen, to be honest. Obviously, I've been gone for so long. But if I'm going to be seen, I'd rather people listen to me more, hear my heart more, and to feel me rather than just see me and make up these assumptions about who I am as a young woman. I am a survivor of a domestic silence relationship. And that was actually one of the reasons why I dyed my hair red at the time. I did not like the girl that I saw in the mirror. I did not like the memories that I held with being that in that place. And I feel like trying to transform myself, I started from the external and solely focused, prioritized that rather than seeing that and knowing that I needed to work from the inside out, kind of like pottery. I took a pottery class and I absolutely loved that. I felt like I saw myself in that and what the Most High was doing with me, working me, telling me, no, I've got you. I'm going to cup you, but I'm going to squeeze and work you from the inside. I'm going to stretch you up and, make you bigger and grow into a new space. And I feel like my hair actually represents that now. Rather than growing down, my hair now grows up and out, kind of like being molded. I will give y'all an example of something of like the stereotype that people boxed me into. I was at a radio station. They wanted to interview me, which is completely fine. I actually enjoyed myself. This is no shade to those that were on that radio show, but they brought me on and they were asking me stuff that was not important to me, stuff that did not resonate with me, stuff that did not represent me. At least I knew that didn't represent me and where I was. They asked me questions like, "Are you vegan? And can you give us some diet tips on veganism?" And I was like, it was like something along those lines. And I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegan. They asked me if I was, I think they asked me if I was into crystal work or crystal magic or whatever that is. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Nothing about that. But it made me feel like that's what girls with locks are into. And that's what I should be doing because I'm a girl with locks. I also felt like whenever I was modeling, I was always in, if it wasn't African print, it was like some type of boho, hippie styled animal print or something like that. And that's completely fine. I actually love all those things. But I felt like I was misrepresenting the culture that I was being casted to represent. And so therefore I felt like I wasn't giving the culture and doing the culture any justice. I've never stepped foot on African soil. I'm a young girl from Houston, Texas. But I don't know anything about African print and what those prints mean and their significance. And I felt like I wanted to respect it and value it. I couldn't be authentic and show myself truly online without being rejected because I was in a place where I was needy. I was highly emotional, um, at that time, insecure in some instances as well because I did not know myself. I did not know what Angel liked. I was fitting into the box that people wanted me to be in when I had every ounce of power in me and responsibility from myself to not continue to perpetuate what I was perpetuating online and representing myself to be online. So I definitely want to apologize to y'all that um, resonated with me at that time and are still expecting that of me. That's just not no longer the girl I am. People tied it so much to me that they were emotional and they wanted me to stay in that box. I had a woman actually prophesied to me about why I shouldn't take down my locks. Like the father told her that I shouldn't take down my hair. Like I'm like, other people are more tied to my hair than I am. And that's scary. I didn't like the fact that I felt like I was letting people down. But sometimes I feel like I'm learning, sometimes you have to in order to get back in alignment with yourself and what's true to you. So I hope some of y'all take that from this video. Aside from that, I also wanted to be provided the opportunity to make mistakes as long as I was humble, you know, as long as I could admit that what I did was not true to who I was, and I feel like I'm better at that now than I was then. Still a work in progress, but nonetheless, I had to accept myself. I had to accept where I was at the time, and no longer accept where people wanted me to be because my desires may not even be his desires for me, and other people's desires for me certainly a lot of times are not my desires. And I feel like we do people a huge disservice expecting what is essential only to us and not seeing what that person needs. I have feelings, I have experiences. I may not be on social media all the time because there may be things going on in my life. And for me, not everything is content. Not everything is worth putting out there. Sometimes I got to sit in it and feel it through. And that was one of those moments for me why I've been away for so long. But with that being said, I'll also tell y'all about the challenges that I've faced with taking down my locks because there have been quite a few. I feel like as Black women, we place so much value on our hair when it's just hair. It's just an expression of us, a way of expressing ourselves. When I took down my locks, people were actually expecting a certain look for me. And this wasn't it, tight, type 4, as they call it, hair and stuff. But even if it was unfavorable to me at that time, I had to learn and grow to love it. I felt like it was getting my locks again at 9 years old all over again, because when I got my locks, people said, I mean, family and even just some people at school would say that I had bugs in my hair because my hair was different. I went to a mostly Latin American school. A Black girl with an afro was not very popular at that time, let alone a Black girl, period, in the school. Um, but yeah, I had to get used to that. But also, I've gotten called mop head when I was a little girl too, and facing that, how that stuck with me. But there was no other representation at that time of a woman with locks. I actually remember when I got my locks, I want to say India Ari had just cut her locks off, but my daddy had locks. And I remember asking my mama, I was like, can I have my hair like my daddy's? And my mom was just like, girl, you mean you'll have to shave all your hair off if you didn't like it? And I said, Mama, it's just hair. And that's when she was just like, okay, yeah, you're ready. You're okay. What helped me kind of navigate all the rejection and the scrutiny that I was getting outside of the home was my parents saying, if anybody, calls your locks dreads, tell them there's nothing dreadful about my hair. They're not dreads, they're locks. Me and my sisters were like programmed to say that, and that made a significant change and, made me feel a lot more confident because of what my parents ingrained in us, thankfully. Because why would I call something that grows out of my head dreadful? But I feel like I felt that same thing with my loose natural curls, is people felt like I didn't have the same value anymore because my hair wasn't long down my back. They felt like I was no longer, I guess, that beautiful. And it's just hair. I still look the same. And dealing with that right after having half of my face paralyzed because of all the stress that I was going through at work. That's another thing that happened since I've been on this hiatus, is I had no boundaries at work, and I was overworked to the point of half of my face being paralyzed during the pandemic. And so I felt like I had to rebuild my self-confidence double time. I had to tape my eyes shut in order to sleep and that it didn't dry out. Apply eye drops in order for it to stay lubricated and all these different things. And then I'm taking down my locks in the process. And after I do that and after I heal, people are like, oh, your hair isn't what we expected it to be. Do you like it? Are you sure you like it? And they were just like on me. Are you sure you like it? Like I had to prove that I loved the hair that grew out of my head. And I don't get why we as women, Black women, have to perform for others to make them feel comfortable. It was just a whole new journey of self-exploration that I'm eternally grateful for now. But at that time, it was rough. It was tough. And then I'm going online and I'm trying to look for girls with my hair texture or whatever, and they're all focusing on defining my hair. I wasn't focusing on defining my hair. I was focusing on making sure my hair was healthy. I have a lot of shrinkage, so I felt like people also wanted me to prove to them that my hair was still long. There's that stereotype that Black women's hair doesn't grow, that I didn't have to deal with much of my life because my hair was down my back majority of my teens, well, all of my teens, and my adult life that I've lived so far. So it was a lot. Um, and I felt like with that, it just seemed like Black women were expected to go out and spend $1 in order for their hair to be accepted. I wasn't with that. I sometimes I don't want to put product in my hair, and this is how it looks. And she's gorgeous, to me. So I I'm like so like I get so irritated with that, but it's so well worth it sticking to what I felt like was right with me. This is a way that I express my love for myself. I remember even being interrogated by my coworker at the time who was Nigerian. And it's how like being a Black woman is like so lonely sometimes when you're trying to discover yourself and really express yourself how you see fit. Is people are gonna hate it at first, and then all of a sudden they're gonna love it because you love it. But basically, he was comparing my hair. I'm a young 20 something, 24-year-old um, girl, and this dude, he's in like his mid 30s, and he's basically comparing my hair to his wife's and saying, are you sure you like your hair? Like basically stuff like that. Like, you know, um, how does it feel to not have long hair anymore? And I'm like, my hair is actually pretty long. I had a silk press. I know how long it is. And I'm not going to prove to you that it's long. I can know it's long and be completely okay. And people have a hard time with that. Our own people have a hard time with us accepting us for who we are and what we look like. And I hope to see that change. But I hope that we also learn to value each other without placing what we think looks valuable on somebody. That we're able to accept and love people without them having to perform for us, because the respectability politics is just unreal in the natural hair movement, which obviously I see that is, like I said, it's hijacked. Like y'all, I tried a wig for the first time, and I had a problem with it because I knew in my mind that it was fake hair, and I didn't want people to think I'm wearing a wig because I don't have hair underneath my wig. Like, why should I have to even think about something like that? I should be able to live my life and not have to prove why I'm worthy of love, not have to prove why I am beautiful. We all know Black is beautiful. I don't even have to go around saying it. I can be quiet about it, and I know I'm going to receive what's in alignment with me. I want to be surrounded by people that are accepting of me in the place that I'm at, because the external will change. I want this heart, okay, this heart and this mind of mine. I want people to see that. I want people to connect to that more than I want them to connect to my hair, the clothes I have on my back. This is the image and likeness of the Most High. And I love that. I accept that. I know where my confidence comes from. I know where my value is sourced from. So if people don't like it or don't appreciate it or value it, that says more about them and less about me. But at first, they always try to convince you on why you shouldn't accept yourself, why you shouldn't love yourself. And that's not okay with me. It's not gonna fly with me. He said, I am made in his image and his likeness. This is a version of his image and his likeness. And I'm tired of the beauty standards. I'm so sick of it. And I do plan on doing a video about beauty standards as well, that it's a myth. And I'll definitely expound on that later on. But for now, I just want us to realize that beauty should always be synonymous with self. Always remember that. Beauty should always be synonymous with you. I think that's where I realized I was at with my first time trying a wig. It was a mental thing. I felt like I know it's not my hair, so I shouldn't love it. I shouldn't appreciate it. It doesn't look like my hair. It's straight, even though I straightened my hair before. So you would think I would be okay with it because it did look like my hair when I had a silk press. And that's another one of the things that I just love about my hair is it's so versatile. I can do so much with it whenever I feel like it. But I want to do it for me. I don't want to do anything for other people being um, the focal point. I don't want to have to seek external validation for where I'm at in life. I'm not going to please everybody. As a Black woman, I know I'm not going to please everybody. And my daddy means so well. He didn't like the wig at all, but he doesn't like for me to have straight hair because he wants me to love me for me. And that is completely valid. I love him for that. But also, I know that hair is just hair. It's just an extension of myself. I would only have a problem if that was always my go to. That's when I would question why I'm not comfortable with my hair. But us as Black people, we have to realize too that um, Black hair doesn't always look a certain way either. We can't continue to box people in. Um, Always get a chance to ask yourself, am I wrong about my stance on this person? Am I wrong about this perspective that I have on people? And it's a shame that we're having these conversations still in 2023, but I can't express that enough. Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I'm glowing from the inside out with where the Father has me, sharing my story. And I just definitely want young women, to know that um, if you love yourself enough, if people decide to be iffy towards you or leave you or disrespect you, um, you know, treat you badly because you don't meet the standard that they want you to meet, that's all about them. Because the Most High that I serve told me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and that my confidence should come from Him, my trust should come from Him, that I should not trust people because people are fickle. They're going to fail you. Um, I've definitely been failed before a number of times. I feel like I have so many stories to tell, but um, beauty should always be synonymous with self. And you can still appreciate other people for their differences when you find the beauty in what makes you significant and you valuable and you beautiful, you know? Um, Take that away. Don't let men also dictate your decisions on what you wear, what you put on your head and stuff as well, because I have heard that before too. Guys like locks. Guys like a lot of things. They like a lot of things. So be in alignment with you, be in alignment with your goals, and express yourself in however that looks when you are there. Care less. Care less. Like I said, you are going to let people down. You are going to make people feel uncomfortable. It's life. And Spug just express yourself in a way that is supportive to the community around you, but first yourself. Set boundaries. I have a podcast episode on boundary setting after what happened to me, in my domestic violence relationship and my terrible job experience with that toxic work environment. We get beat down as women to look a certain way, act a certain way, and there's no right way of living your life that anybody else can tell you about. Just make sure you're not hurting anybody in the process. Make sure that you are owning up to the mistakes that you make. Make sure that you are in alignment with yourself and you are in alignment with the higher calling. And he's got the rest. he's got the rest for sure. That's really the story on why I took down my locs. I pray that this blesses you, meets you where you need to be met as well. All right. Bye. Look at the hell.
Hold on. Hold on.
It's my hair, Daddy. It's my hair. It's my real hair. It's my real hair.
You're not ready. Tell me. This squeaking.
What is this mess you done brought up in my house?
It's hers. It's mine. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Why are you looking so disappointed? But I'm not even surprised at all.
Right.
I don't know why I'm not good about.
Yeah, we couldn't bounce.
Look like you wrong.
Angela.
Don't
Don't it look like a wig?
right here.
It looks like a wig when you like
fake
look in the
hair.
back. Yeah.
Sit down, co-sign.
Look,